Hi, this is Horizon 2 Forbidden West, and I'm preparing for the Burning Shores expansion. I will be playing at ultra hard, blind, and carefully. I love Horizon, and I, I'm doing this because there is so much I want to show and to speak about and find other people with similar interests. So I'm going to go through some of the things I have collected this far and a bit about the game and do some more of the actual preparations. Starting with um, taking a tour of the things here. So I'm playing carefully, and that means that I like to plan the situations so that I don't get overwhelmed. I don't like uh, being in situations where I didn't have time to think about what to do, and I prefer to find a safe way to do things. So I'm playing mainly as the stealth, and so the Tara Winterwave is the primary stealth outfit that can be bought without doing something that is outside my playstyle. So because I want to be able to take my time and to hide and think, that means that I don't like to do the melee pits or the arena. So I have done most of the things in the game except for the timed challenges. And yeah, this is it's a good thing that the game lets you buy the things that enables a play style um, in without having to do it through the arena. So that's actually a good design decision. Um, that means that I could buy this, and also the Tenac Tactician. That's something that I discovered recently. It's amazingly better than I thought that it would have been. It means that I can override machines and let them fight for me, and it's much more efficient than I ever thought. So I can basically sit back and let my pet fire claw strider just kill an apex big machine like yeah. That's interesting. Sometimes I just words disappear. Okay, so you can actually use a fire claw strider to kill and slaughter spine and even an apex slaughter spine pretty easy most of the time. It's a bit different for different machines. If it's really big machines, it will help if you occupy it from a distance. Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that for playing carefully and avoiding to getting hurt, you can use the sniping from a distance. You can use stealth. You can use the machine master. Another thing that is important to think about is that every outfit in Forbidden West has at least one and usually two weaknesses. So the Tactician is good in everything except for perch water and acid. And you have the Untari Winterweave that also has an acid as a weakness and also fire. So that means that you should always be aware what machines you're fighting and what outfit you have. So since these are the two outfits that I have upgraded to max, both of them are weak for acid damage, and that's why I'm still carrying around my Utari hardware, since that has better acid protection. But it would be better to find an legendary outfit that has better acid protection, and that's where the Usram Artificer comes in, because this one has better acid resistance, especially if I actually upgrade it. So that's the outfits that I'm working with right now. The rest of the weapons and outfits are in the store. So I'm also having my Nora Sentinel because I think that it looks good. So that's my outfit that I'm wearing when I'm not specifically have to have maximal protection. And then also the Sobex raiment for relaxing at the base. Yeah, okay, so that's it. And the weapons is primarily set up for conserving the expensive ammo. This is a thing with the game, is that some types of ammunition does much more damage than other things, but they also use expensive ammunition. So I'm not using as much legendary weapons as I could have. One reason is that many of them is the things that you get from arena challenges, and I don't like them. I don't even want to try to do them at ultra hard. This is not a new game plus, it's a plain ultra hard from the beginning, and that's pretty eventually it's a normal ultra hard without new game plus will eventually be basically as easy as a new game plus playthrough, because you eventually get all the weapons, but the way to get there is much harder. So it's much harder to in the beginning of the game and actually getting the weapons when you can't do it at a lower difficulty or in the previous playthrough. Okay, so weapon wheel. This is the Globalast Sharpshot Bow for mostly for the Tear Blast arrows, and also for the plasma arrows for triggering plasma canisters. Then we have the Delta Sharpshot Bow. That's the best bow with cheap arrows that you can and that also makes most damage. So the advanced arrows will take volatile sludge, and that's an limited resource, so I should normally avoid to use the volatile sludge. So instead I'm using the normal precision arrow that only takes machine muscle. Now, the thing about conserving resources is not as important as it was previously, because I find out that I can pretty easily collect the shards for the resources by killing crabs and lobsters. That's probably the fastest way to make money in this game. If you exclude exploits. I'm usually want to play realistically, so I don't want to take unnecessary risk, and I don't want to make Aloy do things that wouldn't make sense in some sense. So and then we got the freezing, and this is also the freezing bow that has the advanced arrows. Again, take volatile slag that I want to conserve, so that's why I'm using the Seeker Hunt bow. And when I have a ropecaster, which is the preferred way to take care of machines at close range, because I don't want to get hurt. Even if I probably could survive a fight, I would prefer to not take damage. Okay, and then the normal hunter bow, that's the vanguard hunter bow. That's also one of the better that doesn't use very expensive ammunition. And for using the chain reaction of triggering canisters, I'm missing the fire element, and that's why I also have Sun Scorch. This weapon on the hull has advanced ammunition, but I'm only using it for the chain reaction. Otherwise, and I would usually have either the lightning hunter bow for the shock arrows and for the putchwater arrows, or the ancestors return for using cheaper ammunition that is pretty good to use at a distance, and I can use that to shock enemies, and then use that time when the enemy is more still to hitting components more exactly. And then we have a relentless bolt blaster that you could use for dealing more damage, especially on frozen machines, and some other things. The corrosive blastling is pretty good at a distance, and then I also have prepared for using this glue, what's the name of it, for slowing down machines, and some other things. This is Tripcaster for shock, and this is Tripcaster for explosion. And then you have this is one, yeah, the spin torn spike thrower is the probably best weapon for triggering knockdowns. It's especially powerful for sliver fangs. And then we have the berserker hunter bow. That's the best I can get a hold of for doing what used to be called corruption. It's a berserk for making machines go after themselves. There are better versions, but that can only be bought from the arena. Okay, so I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm also unlocked. So these legendary weapons are things that you can get from completing quests or quest lines. So that's why I have upgraded them, even if I don't use them as much. All right, and so for the skills, I have saved up some points just in case there is something new in the Burning Shores. And the things that I haven't unlocked here are stuff that I'm not using anyway. So I have unlocked everything that I could think about using, and saved the rest of the points for Burning Shore, just in case it's expanding way to unlock additional things. Right, and this when the game came, I started playing my first playthrough of Horizon Forbidden West at the hardest difficulty, and that was very hard. And I'm usually playing with no HUD or minimal HUD. And that was because I wanted to see if how hard it would be, because I think that the game is actually pretty easy if you playing it carefully. And it it was pretty hard at the beginning because the machines are very aggressive, and many machines will kill you with one hit. But it wasn't as hard as I would think that it could be, and I managed it pretty easy. Uh, so what I want to say here is that don't consider myself to be an expert player at action games. A way that I managed to do this was to be careful and to run and hide if something bad happens, and to prepare and use all the things that I have, like the food and the potions and the upgrades and sneaking and all the things. And that's also why I like the game, is that it can be done by being careful and thinking and solving the problems, rather than being very good to jump and run and all the things. Okay, so that's why I'm going to play the Burning Shores blind. I've saw the first teaser for the Burning Shores, but after that I have tried to avoid spoilers, and I haven't seen the later trailers. So I'm going to play it blind, ultra hard, and mostly with minimal HUD. You see, and the reason for not using a HUD is not to make it harder for myself. It's mostly because I like the beauty of the game. I like the immersion, and I don't want to have things that distracts me and takeaways from the beauty. And I also like the how she can interact with the things around her. So if you see here that when you are near something that you can pick up, she will turn her head and look at it. Uh, like this. So and then in this game also you have the blue butterflies that flies around every herb that you can pick up. And you also often have sparks or other indications for the machine parts that you can pick up. And using the stereo audio, you can often hear the machines, where they are, what they are doing, and you can see the lights in their faces for if they are aware of you, or if they are seeking, or if they are unaware. So most of these things you don't need the actual HUD for. Some parts are useful to have on demand. So if I'm touching the touchpad, moving on the touchpad, the compass will come up and the health bar and all the other things. So I can see the things when I wanted, but still have it off. I did consider to turning off these action prompts also. But the problem with that is that when I'm loading machines, I can't actually see what it is I'm picking up. If it's several things, it's not a clear indication of what it is. So I would prefer to turn off this also, and it can be done. But when I don't, if I do that, I don't see what it is I'm picking up. The other things is that there are world markers, and those are the things that show up in villages. You would see those markers above the potion maker or the stitcher or the traders or the cooks. And I would have liked to turn off those also, but if I turn those off, I also lose the ability to use the flags to navigate in the world. So if I'm on the map and want to get to a specific location, I could set off a marker, and in the world I would then have a marker. So this is not a distraction, because it's something that I'm put there by myself in those cases when I want to navigate, and I can, whenever I want, I can turn it off by removing that marker. But that thing doesn't work if you turn off word markers. So I think that's actually a bug, or not, maybe not strictly a bug, but it's unpolished that those things are grouped together. So the thing I'm talking about is the settings, the custom HUD, and the things here are the action prompts. That's the thing when you pick up, or that tell you that you can save when you are near fire, or the world markers that would include the merchants, but it also include the marker that you self set on the map. I also thought about turning off the reticule. I tried to do it. It's a bit harder to aim. I could manage to do it reasonably by training, aiming without the reticule, but it is harder, and I'm not distracted by having something that helps me aims, and I'm not trying to make it super hard for myself. So I tried it, could do it, but I would miss much more shots, and I like it better with having the help for me to aim. Right. More things. The inventory. That's the weapons, the outfit, coils. I'm using. I'm not using traps all the time, but they are very, very, very useful in cases when you don't have the ability to run and hide or have an height advantage or some way to get away. So especially for boss fights, they are very useful. And then the food, I was thinking about stocking up some foods that can be useful, and I have done some of it. So the foods are useful for several in several situations. So low profile. I don't have use for that if I'm using my stealth outfit. The valor search is a good thing to have. Okay, so as you see, I have 80,000 shards right now, and I just recently sold much of my upgrade materials because I have upgraded most of the things that I want to use, and the best way to make money is by selling the pouch upgrade resources. So you can see here, for example, that the iridescent, no, you can't see how the money here, but they sell for lots of money, and it's pretty fast to gather those on the sandy beaches. Alright, I did all the machine strike challenges in the game, and that gave me a couple of skill points. And I'm thinking about, I did one of the what's here, hunting grounds. So I did the first hunting ground, and that was what I needed for getting the Ancestors Return. That was the minimal I had to do for the Ancestors Return. I could do more hunting grounds. It's just that yeah, I don't need to, and since we are timed trials, that's not the focus of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be careful and smart, and not being very skillful at running and shooting under time pressure. Right. So all the main quests is done, all the side quests on all the errands except the enduring, that's the melee pit challenge. It would be good to do that, but I prefer not to. Especially since this is ultra hard, and that means that there's no option to lower the level. It's not possible to lower the difficulty level. There are some exploits I could use to make the melee pits easier, but I don't want to use exploits either. So the only thing left now is to upgrade the Osram Artificer, and that's for gaining a better outfit for acid resistance. The salvage contracts are done. Yeah. Rebel camps and outposts are done. Relic ruins are done. Tall necks, cauldrons, and gauntlet runs. So the gauntlet run also would give you what is called, it's a warbow for close combat, but I'm not, that's not my playstyle, so I'm not going to do that. Right. So my plan is to talk about the game, including the game design, but also focus on role playing, and that is to do things that Alo would do in the same situation. And when I'm talking about being careful, this is not the safest way to do this, but they are not so dangerous that I wouldn't be able to handle it. But you see, I'm not super good at actually hitting the thing that I'm aiming on. But if you are observant and listening onto your surrounding, you can hear if one of them are running towards you. So now I heard this one from the right side. So I knew that I had to run away. And that was, yeah. So my goal is to be careful and play as if I had only one life. But that doesn't mean that I can take smaller risk like this if I'm pretty confident that I could survive a mistake, but would probably be able to do this without getting hurt. If I would have my pet here, it could do this for me, and most things would be incredibly simple. So I will try to get my pet now. So there is, where can I find my closest? Here, right. So I'm going to find a campfire and see if I can override a new companion that can help me. We are not only good to actually killing the machines, but we are also very good at serving as distraction, and that means that fewer machines will attacking me. Now I'm feeling that I'm having a bit trouble finding these things, so I'm going to So another thing that's There is an option to turn on auto run, and okay, this is why I avoided this campfire for so long, is because these climber jars are really annoying. Yeah, what I was about to say is that
Plasma won't hurt it much.
you see these markers above machines here, they also disappear if I turn off world markers. Okay, so that's an apex and can't override it. And that's an apex. And this one is not an apex. Okay, this is not a safe place to save, so okay, I'm going back. Using this instead. So there is an option to turn on auto run, and that's pretty helpful for doing farming, that is to say, to collecting lots of parts for upgrading. And if you're primarily doing combat, turning on auto run is useful. But for actually living in a world and role-playing in it, it's not very... I haven't done that. Okay. It's not very good for... I prefer to usually walk more slowly and not run around all the time. Right. I think this is a pretty beautiful environment, but it's a bit strange that the Quen that came here made so much effort for building these bridges everywhere. They really have taken over the whole island and built a lot of infrastructure. I don't even know, they couldn't have gotten all those things from the... They must have, taken the lumber from the island and built these bridges, so... right. I'm putting it on aggressive since I wanted to use it for fighting for me. It's not very fast, but it's super good at killing other machines. So for riding I would use other machines, but for fighting this is pretty good. So if I would go back to the climber jaws, let's see what we have here. Wasn't this the right place? I think it was here. Are we just sleeping? Right. Maybe we're not here if I'm fast traveling there. Okay, let's take something else. Like this one? No, that's pretty... see what's the thing that I'm actually need right now. I got a job for I need a Dreadwing and a Frostclaw. Frostclaw is perfect. We're going to do a Frostclaw. Right. So this is the place where we usually have a Frostclaw. I'm actually not sure why there would be a Frostclaw here, because it seems that the mountain is chill enough, and I think the Frostclaw and Fireclaw are processing acquisition machines. They are supposed to they have a similar job to like a scrounger or a scrapper, but they can also take material from other things. So I don't see what it actually has for reason to stay here, because it doesn't have much to do here. Right, I'm a bit I don't think this is pretty dangerous. I'm not super careful here. But what I wanted to do was to show how useful my pet is, and for that I would have to use my Tenac Tactician. That's boasting the lasting override, machine elemental, machine health, mounted archer, mounted defense, and machine damage. And then I'm calling on it.
It's holding.
So see if I can override this before it dies. Oh, I don't have more that was a mistake. I forgot about the reload time for the override. Okay, so what I want to do now is to aggro the Frostclaw, and preferably I want to keep the sack so that I can use it for upgrades. And you see don't have to do much, it's already dead. They did everything for me.
I'd better loot all the carcasses here. Might have the parts I need.
I did lose the sack here, so that's not good. So I would need a Frostclaw circulator, and I didn't get it here, so I need more. Right, and let's collect the
I'll have to go to another machine site.
Fanghorn here. And this is another thing about the HUD configuration, is that I configure it but it doesn't mark up things except if I'm using a focus pulse. So I can get help to find out stuff to pick up by using the pulse. And that's a thing that you can turn off completely. Right, so that was an example of the Machine Master. What's next on the list? Needed Dreadwing. So let's get the Dreadwing. So these things are can be pretty bothersome. So I'm going to wait for the next pulse, and when I'm going in and trying to get their fangs, see what's the thing I want from the Dreadwing.
It's easier.
I need primary nerve, metal fang. So okay, so I'm going to mark up the metal fangs and then getting them. So, and now for the detachment. I think it heard me. Right, I will have to do this another way if I can't hit it from here. Get some infrastructure going. And now also remember that I'm weak against acid, so I can't get hit by it. Oh, it's calling for reinforcements. That's an elite lasher, I think. I think I'm going to try to be a little bit more careful here. Huh. No. Could I? Nope. So I think I got the fangs here. I want to see if my companion can take down the elite lasher. Otherwise, I have to do it myself. Usually it's pretty safe to find the boundary of the combat zone. If you want to leave its designed place. So
Can't tie it down with just that.
ah, okay. Didn't have to do much here either. My
It'd be good to loot all the dead machines here. Might find
did
the
it
parts
for
I'm
me.
looking for.
And I actually didn't get hurt. That's good. So I have
No
my
machines here, which means no more parts. I'll have to come back later.
it scrambled my focus, but that's done now. So I'm going to try to find the fangs that I knocked off.
Wouldn't want to be caught in that sand spiral.
That the metal fangs, but I need 5 of them. Right. But this was just an round tour of what I've done previously, and now I'm just going to relax a bit. And I think it's the day has gone also. It's starting to get dark.
Perhaps the land gods have taken pity on us.
Word for somebody who owes you a favor?
Later.
Take it easy, would you? Oh, you're back. I'm relieved.
Alright, so I thought that this would be nice, but I think he's a bit split right now. Yet another bug. Okay.
Children, we
May the
talked
land
about
bloom
this.
in your steps, Outlander.
There was somebody who wanted to talk to me around here. You see, this is
The land
flying
gods are truly healed? This is no delirium, is it?
flying plane that he just threw away.
Do we know what became of that Tanakh Canyon encampment?
The one near Barren Light? The Tanakhs are gone. I heard Oseron from the east occupy it now.
Those inebriates drove out the Tanakh?
Word is, the red-haired huntress did.
That's impressive. So what did the Oseram do in there now? Making more
We have enough food to trade if you want to take a look anymore.
Some Tanakh can apparently command machines.
How are you?
All right.
Okay, this is the one who played. Who was the person who wanted to talk to me? Is it Dean? Could see if there are
I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
more food to be
Need some food? We've got plenty.
bought.
Heard about what Kel did.
Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely Dean. So I really would like to get rid of these icons,
Hey, how goes it?
but I don't want to get rid of the optional markers. So in order to get this, I have to store away the food I already have.
Guess you'll try my cooking some other time.
Yeah, some other time. Alright, so I'm done for now.
Oh,
So I'm going to save here.
Did she just jump?
Right. So see you for my ultra hard, burning shores, blind, careful playthrough. Bye.